Boom. Man, do we got a good one for you tonight. Welcome back, everyone. We appreciate you tuning in. Man, we got Dustin B with 1776 Crypto for Veterans. Man, he is the man with a plan that is near and dear to my heart. Dustin, welcome. How are you tonight?
I'm doing wonderful. How about yourself?
Man, I cannot complain. I tell you,
Another.
it's another beautiful day in the crypto space. But we appreciate you coming on tonight, brother, and certainly glad to have you, man. I tell you, your project it really is very special, and we're going to be talking about it here in just a little bit. Of course, everything that we talk about tonight is not financial advice, but as usual, we do want to get into some of the Bitcoin charts. We'll review that for a little bit, go into the crypto news. We were talking about the Fed rates, how that affected us yesterday, and what that looks like in the future. And then, of course, going to get right into all the good that is going on in the Project 1776 Crypto for Veterans. So, Dustin, let me just first pull up the chart here. Again, we appreciate you coming on with us tonight. Now, for those of you who are used to tuning in, you probably noticed that we're short a few tonight. So, Crypto Barons will be joining us in a little bit, and Rico Moneybags will not. He had another commitment that he had to tend to. So, we're going to go ahead and try to run a little bit solo before Crypto Bronze joins us a little bit. So here we go. Let's pull up the chart here and see how this looks. Now, what we're looking at here, folks, is this is an hourly. Sorry, this is a daily charts here, and if we were to go ahead and switch this to a 4 hour, kind of get us a little better idea of kind of where we were over the say past few days. Seems like it's been pretty much been going sideways for quite a while. Um, we see that all right there, Dustin.
Yeah, I see it.
All right. So take a look here over the past, say, 24 hours or so. Seems like it's, well, I don't know. I feel like feel like for the past 24 or so, we've been kind of on a steady rise. And I think that what we're seeing here is a correction potentially or fear a little bit, fear driven down because of what the Fed could have potentially said. We're going to go ahead and just do a quick chart here. Feel like there is the potential for us to kind of rise up. We're going to be hitting an apex here, rather a decision point. We're going to be hitting a decision point within the next, say, 48 hours, whether that's going to go ahead and continue to rise or if it's going to go ahead and kind of, well, head on down. Now, if it does go ahead and continue to rise, we're talking about levels roughly around, say, the 32 mark or so, but does have the potential to ride on down, well, way past 26. So, Dustin, what do you think? We going higher? We going lower? What's your thoughts on this?
Well, I say it's got a lot of potential to keep moving up. The
Yeah,
way it's looking, it's on the rise.
yeah, for sure. For sure. I think if we were actually to pull this out a little bit and we start to take a look at the daily, you'll see what Dustin's exactly talking about. This goes back now to November or so, and what we're talking about, we're hitting levels right around at the lowest 15,000. Now, had you got in November and we're hitting those levels, you're almost doubling your money, almost right. At one point, you actually did. So back in mid call it mid October. I'm sorry, mid April. My apologies. Mid April, about the 14th or so, you did double. So I think that Dustin, what you're saying, it's right. I agree. I feel like we're on the rise. I just wonder if we're going to continue this rise. I guess we'll have to wait and see. So, but so Dustin, let's get right into the news, man. Let's see what we got here. Now we got biggest, I think, biggest story that we've had over the past 24 hours was whether or not the Fed rates were going to continue to rise, we're going to hit the mark, or were they going to drop. Now, anything that was, say, kind of the norm, would have kind of stayed status quo and would have been really kind of bullish. Now, of course, anything lower than that would have been really bullish. And had the Feds raised them even higher, it would have kind of tanked the market because we follow the traditional markets, right? Crypto space kind of follows that, and feel like we hit the mark, and it kind of speaks to it, right? When you take a look at that chart that we had there, we were actually at a low point, and we've risen about 3-4% since then. I feel like that's bullish, but you know, let me just go ahead and pull up this article now. This talks about the Fed raising taxes here, or rather the rates, and let me just see. Just let me know when you see this here, Dustin. There we go. Should see something from CNBC.
Yeah, I see it now.
Yeah, yeah. They talks about the rates and basically the impact on Ether, and it's indicating basically that it had a positive effect, and I think we definitely clearly see that now. Dustin, what do you think? Are the Fed's going to continue to raise the rates? Do you feel like they're going to go ahead and continue to have that inflation kick in and just continue to hammer the rest of the markets, or do you think it's going to level off?
Eventually, our level everything's starting to come. That eventually, they're going to start realizing that they're just going to level it off and be done with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I agree. I feel like there's a lot of that lot of that sentiment going on right now. You have the Feds that continue to try to get consumer spending under control, and what we're trying to do is by raising these rates, they're trying to limit folks from taking out more and more loans as that interest rate starts to increase. Now, seems like it can work, but they gotta be very careful because if they go too far, then it pushes us deeper into recession. So it's a constant battle for these folks, but it certainly impacts everything we do in our space as well. But I agree with you, Dustin. I think that it's bullish moving forward. Feel like if they go ahead and pause this, we got nothing but the moon. So we'll see. Have to see what happens. But yeah. Well, Dustin, let's get right into your project there, brother. I feel like we're cruising right along here, and I can tell you that my sister being in the Navy, I this really does hit close to home for me, and it's kind of sad. You see a lot of folks out there that are kind of coming back to the States, coming back from wherever it was they were sent off to, and they're impacted by it. And these are their warriors, right? These are the folks that are protecting us, protecting our way. And man, this project really kind of really hits you right in the heart. So why don't you tell us a little bit about this there, Dustin?
All right. Well, 1776 Crypto for Veterans Incorporated is a self-deflationary utilized corporation, and we offer multiple utility services to veterans, veteran-owned businesses, and to the community. Green.
Yeah, no, for sure. So we got, why don't you tell us a little bit about who you are?
We are a privately owned healthcare company providing healthcare assistance to disabled and homeless veterans, including Medicare and Medicaid beneficiaries in the RCM Revenue Cycle Management Program and preservation of EMR, which is the electronic medical records. Transitioning veterans towards the private sector is one of our new programs being developed.
Yeah. Now, I can tell you that this is huge because being in healthcare myself, EMR, electronic medical records, or EHR, depending on who you're talking to, that's going to be massive for both Medicare and healthcare moving forward. And if it's all about, especially with the VAs, if they get into this, it's going to be massive, absolutely massive. So,
yeah, I mean, you take a trip outside of the States and you get injured, what better way to give access to your records by just opening your phone and clicking on it?
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned here about EMR and HIPAA Healthcare Insurance Act of 1996. I can tell you that all takes place in what we're talking about here, and having that as also the buffer, right, for what standards look like for protecting any type of patient's rights, especially our veterans, is just paramount. So
Hmm.
now, we kind of go through this a little bit earlier, and let me go ahead and pull up the tokenomics here because I feel like that's what folks want to take a look at. Um, Looks like we got some taxes, but the taxes are definitely that's the norm, right? And that's a good way to actually start to not only kind of get what is necessary for the veterans of this project, but also a way to support the project overall. So why don't we talk about the tokenomics a little bit?
Well, sale tax of 5.55. The buy side, you got 2% that goes to marketing, uh, percent and a half that goes to the buy liquidity, and then we have a percent and a half that goes to donations. And it's the same for the sell side. So when you buy and sell, we're donating, using that to the donation, building the liquidity up and adding to the marketing wallet.
Hmm. Yeah, I love it. I mean, so what we're talking about really is you're talking about 3% because, well, one and a half if you buy and you hold, right? The veterans are getting the donation. However, if they decide to sell, the investors, well, they're getting another one and a half. So really, if someone is buying and selling, 3% of that goes directly to the donation to the veterans, and I mean, couldn't be for a better cause. Now, we were talking earlier, you and I offline, kind of where this is initially going, and you had mentioned a few organizations, but you had mentioned one initially. Let me go ahead and pull this up here. Looks like it was for Stop Soldier Suicide. Is that right?
Yes, sir, that is correct.
Yeah. So we got their site up here, and man, these guys are doing a heck of a job. I tell you, we and it's sad, right? Because a lot of the veterans come back, and they may have families, they may not, and they may not have anyone to turn to, and by getting the donations into these folks, at least they have someone to turn to if times get tough for them. And could it be a better place to initially start with here? What made you choose Stop Soldier Suicide to start with?
I got a lot of friends that were in the military that chose the wrong path, and they ended up ending their life because they had PTSD, no one to talk to, like you said. They didn't have an organization to call at the time to help impact their thoughts and their methods of the way they were doing. Um,
Mhm.
so over the last 5 years, I think I've lost maybe 4 or 5 friends to suicide, and they were all military. And so it was close to home. It felt close to the heart that this is one of the ones that I want to start with, because there's not a there's not a lot of resources out there for. I mean, there is, but not a lot of known ones that people are actually attentive to. So we want to bring awareness to it by helping with this one and spreading the word of what they do and what they offer.
Yeah, no, and that's what it is, right? I mean, in order for a lot of the folks out there to understand, right? Yes, there are resources that they have, resources that they can turn to, but sometimes they don't even know the resources are out there. And by donating to these type of organizations, they're able to get the word out there more and allow our service members, our warriors, to better understand who they can reach out to and get help to. Um, Sometimes they don't always want to go to a VA. Maybe they just need someone to talk to. And by having these type of services somewhere they could call and reach out to and talk to, get whatever it is out there that's bothering them, and then options for them to seek help. It's huge. It's absolutely huge. So I think it's a great place, and looks like they accept crypto. So no better place because, of course, what where you're starting in the crypto space. Have you given any thoughts on any other organizations out there? Did I lose you? Oh, Dustin, can you hear me? Okay.
Sorry, yeah, I was muted.
No, you good.
There are a bunch of ones that I've been looking at. They're more of the smaller side. Um, I'm gonna try to stay away from like Wounded Warriors. They're just such a massive corporation that I feel the corporation gets more of the donations than the veterans themselves. And so I'm looking towards the smaller end ones that the community can vote on. They get a, basically I'll pull up 5 different organizations that we can donate to and have the community do a vote, have them do their research, and they'll get to select which one the next donation goes to. And then the next month, the same and same. I just feel with the community's choice, they'll be better off, than me just selecting a place and saying, oh yeah, we're donating over here. The community will feel involved with it as they're being a part of it. So we got a couple other ones here. We're going to get the first one out the way. And then once we get that one out the way, then I'll open it up to the selections that we've selected and let the community decide.
Yeah, no, I think it makes sense, and honestly, it's funny because the first one that came to my mind was Wounded Warriors, but the way that you put it, and I feel like it absolutely makes sense because it was to me the first one that came to my mind. It's the biggest one that is out there, and there are so many other resources that these folks can reach out to, so many other groups that they can reach out to. Um, let's support all of the little guys as opposed to going straight to the top. Um, give some folks some options. And if we could support the smaller organizations, then all the better for it. Now, you guys are, just to be clear, and I want to make sure we get this out there. You guys are based out of the U.S.
That is correct.
Yeah, and you guys are also going to be, was it S corp, C corp,
Um,
LLC?
S corp. It's
Okay.
we got a nonprofit corporation, and then they got the 501c3 has been filed. They're a little backed up in their system. So they said it could take a couple of weeks for that one, but that's the nonprofit license for us to be able to basically do multiple donations to different charities.
Yeah. Okay. So you guys watching out there, you listening, this is a nonprofit organization they're coming together. Now, here in the States, they're also making sure that they're doing everything legitimately. Now, uh, Dustin here, of course, showing his face, and I feel like that in part in this space is half the battle, but based out of the US, got a corporation being built, going through the proper documentation to go nonprofits, excellent cause. I don't see any reason why folks wouldn't want to invest in this. You know, um, now you guys are basically right now on the Ethereum blockchain. Is that right?
That is correct.
Yeah, I feel like that makes sense, especially being here in the states with everything going on out there. And some of the blockchains kind of basically even failing, a lot of them failing, but not so much failing. I feel like also we have some of the other chains that may not just be suitable to be traded here in the US and something that we need to monitor here moving forward. Ethereum, of course, has all the security. Now, gas fees is something they need to work on, and they are, right? But now everyone knows that I'm a bit of an ETH purist. But, I think that you had mentioned, though, that you're looking potentially to look to get onto some other exchanges, though. Is that right?
That is correct.
Yeah. So you guys are going to start out on Uniswap?
Yeah, we're on Uniswap now.
All right. Well, let's get that. Let's see if we get a chart up here. Now, you're on Uniswap. I can tell you that it makes sense as you guys go DeFi to start. And as far as the rest of it is concerned, are you guys looking at some centralized exchanges as well?
Yeah, I like crypto.com.
Hmm.
They're one of the ones I started out on. Everything seems, easy access to it right there. Once we get the volume up, once we start expanding who we are and letting people know, um, I feel that crypto.com would probably be one of the better ones. Um, I don't really use any of the other ones, but I'm not saying that we won't, but from here to the future, do see crypto.com possibly being there.
Yeah. No, I feel like certainly solid and definitely makes sense for everything that is going on, especially in the world right now. Um, Now let's just take a look. I'm going to go ahead and pull up a 5 minute. There we go. And let me get this spread out before I pull her up here. But I hear you. I feel like it definitely makes sense that you want to get onto as many exchanges, at least legitimate exchanges, because there's a lot going on out there right now that you're not sure what's legit and which exchange could potentially even go away. Right? A lot of folks, a lot of folks want to get rich quick, and there's a lot of rug pulls out there. Um, we take a look at this here. Looks like you guys have a contract verified. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
So you got the contract verified, and if we take a look also here, it indicates that you guys are definitely not a honeypots, man. Been caught with pants down a few times on that one, hands stuck in the honeypot. But
Mm-hmm.
I think that I feel like this is a solid project. Now you got is it now you're the CEO and founder. Do you guys currently have any type of team engaged as well?
Yeah, I got my board of directors, of course. They're mainly in the background, and then I got my team that's with me on the project. That's every day. There's a couple of us. It's not a big team. We're not, like I said, I'm nothing fancy. I'm just trying to support a good cause that needs to be supported.
Hmm. And certainly one that hits near and dear to your heart as well because of all the things that you have seen, and I can only imagine what that's kind of put you through. But you know what it is? You haven't let yourself get down. You rose to the occasion, and by getting this together, man, I tell you, I mean that makes me feel proud of you, proud of what you're doing. I understand that your team currently isn't large, but you know what? You're a new team. Um, as projects grow, and they do, they continue to grow. Now you got looks like Sean. He's your CMO. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So looks like between you and Sean, you guys are basically, and then of course you have your all your social media. You got your Telegram and whatnot. Do you have some mods on there?
Yeah, me and Sean. Sean's my CMO. He's basically the guy that's taking care of all the social media. I got another guy that's in the background that's doing the medical side of the project. He's basically getting out there doing all the interviews with the hospitals and medical clinics and doctors' offices and all that. And then I take care of everything else.
Yeah, no, that's it. And it does take a team to really get it all together. There's no doubt about that. Looks like you got everything laid out also here. Let me just pull this up. Look, got your roadmap here, and looks like you do have it very well laid out. What you're looking to do as far as getting it together as far as you had indicated talking about the electronic medical records and having the folks hit those centers and pharmacies and healthcare vendors and providers, and then kind of getting it into uh, basically getting that information and the crypto out for resources for the disabled and homeless as well. Now I feel like we take a look at all of this. You take a look at what this is. Now, I didn't see this earlier. Looks like 1% max wallet. So it looks like you're actually limiting what folks could buy per wall. Is that right?
Yeah, I didn't feel like we need to have big whales come in and kill the chart. Um, give the opportunity for more people to get in, to invest, to help donate, and do all that. That I felt it was equivalent to that. So making it to where we can actually spread the word or spread the project than it being accumulated by like a couple people.
Yeah.
There we go.
No.
Get those words out.
Well, that's it. I feel like that makes sense, right? You don't want any whales coming in, being able to buy up all the supply and then basically tank the price. Um, and looks like we have a total of 10 billion supply. 1.5 of that is currently on Uniswap.
That is correct.
So, yeah, I think it makes sense. Especially you can go ahead and some of the plays that you can do is 1.5 billion of the Uniswap supply can be put then for what is currently out there for purchase. Now that 10 billion supply could potentially go a number of different ways. Do you guys have any plans on doing any type of burns?
Yeah. Right after launch, I did a big, or not a big burn, but I did a burn. Um, there's a couple more that we do have planned, but majority of the supply that's not in Uniswap, we have it designated for partnerships, sponsorships, and whatnot, for the medical side. So down, like I said, this is a longevity project. This isn't, in and out in a couple months and we're done. This is, I'm looking generational wealth for other people down the road, and also aiding and helping the veterans along the way. So like I said, we got a large percent set aside for partnerships. So when the time is right, we get our certificates in, and then we'll basically use that supply to initiate the partnerships with the medical clinics, the hospitals, and all that. And they'll have an option either to buy it, lock it for a long period of time, or buy it and burn it to show their partnerships. Basically them signing their partnership up, that's how they would go.
Yep, absolutely. Now, take a look at your website, crypto4ww.com. We have we have address right here for the donation. Now, this is obviously your donation wallet, and looks like it's going directly to the disabled and homeless veterans community. Of course, that's awesome. So, if folks just want to, they're not say necessarily interested in then purchasing, they could go ahead and donate directly to the wallet as well. And
Yes,
that's donation of ether. Is that right?
yes. Once we get the, not saying we're having a merchandise store, but I will be doing like t-shirts and everything. And if you don't want to invest in crypto, or you're not crypto savvy, or you don't want to go down that road or connect your wallet, we'll do it to where you buy a shirt and 75% of that shirt price goes back to the donation. And then of course the 25% would be more material, more merchandise. So we're trying to make it fair to everybody. Like I said, if you're not in the crypto world or crypto savvy, it gives them the opportunity to help the project without actually purchasing the token.
Yeah. No, that's great. And and in part, that's the problem with the crypto space because it can be so difficult to kind of get in, kind of donate, and especially something like this where it's a great cause. You are giving the individual the option to get in and donate through traditional means. Now, I did feel like that is important because again, right now, as far as trading crypto, it can be cumbersome. It's convoluted overall. It's not easy. Hell, sometimes it's even scary. But that all will eventually have to change, and we'll get there. But in the meantime, having this project out there and having alternate means certainly makes sense for, I like to call them the normies, right? The 90% out there that doesn't quite understand crypto or feel comfortable using it. So I think that's great. You say you're not looking to do a merch store, but how would folks be able to kind of get that? Would they be
Um,
able to come to their site, to come to your site here?
yeah, we'll be doing a V2 website here probably in the next month or so. Um, this one was just basically wanting to get the project up and going. We'll be moving into our own privately secured server, which basically where the utilities come in, they're broadcasted off our own private server. Um, for security wise, it felt, once we do that, then that's when we'll add the link for them to buy the shirts and whatnot. Once we get our V2 website done, then that's, we'll be doing the card info and all that on there.
Yeah. No, and that listen, as far as accepting fiat, I think that it's important to have your own security, your own way to ensure that anyone that's using traditional fiat information is being protected. You know, with crypto being decentralized as it can be in its current state, it makes sense that, again, taking anyone's type of information for the fiat purchasing for the donations is necessary. And coming from information security myself and working in healthcare and understanding the criticality of it, you need to make sure that anyone that is willing to donate to this donation to this to 1776 veterans crypto, um, it's crucial. So I think it's great that you're forward thinking and you're looking to protect all the folks out there through those means. Now, take a look at the rest of your website here. Looks like you do have a few links that's out there. We got your LinkedIn. I love the fact that you guys have LinkedIn because it goes directly to now. There's me there. There's me without the hat. But we got you're fully doxed, right? You got your information out there, and now for me, I think that is absolutely crucial, especially in this space. Now, example, right? Take a look at me, my real name, John Nisgoda. There I am, Director of Information Technology, right? Biomedical Engineering, and that's the organization I work for in real life. But it's important that we have these. Now, could we fake them? Sure. Will we show our faces here? Will we tell you our real names and allow you to actually research us if we were going to do a rug pull on you? I don't think so. You know, but I feel like this is a great project. So we got LinkedIn, we got your own website, and man, I tell you, let me just pull this up here. We're gonna go ahead and just pull. Yeah, so here's LinkedIn. We got you here, right? And you know, I think that it's important that we have, at the very least, ways for us other individuals to connect and see that it's legit. Otherwise, you know, example. We got one right out now. That's man, it's this thing is skyrocketing. It's called Pepe. Dustin, I know you've heard of this, and I know the folks listening have heard about Pepe because Pepe is everywhere. But one wonders, who exactly is it that's pulling the strings on that project? You know, it's I don't know. Dustin, you actually reached out to those folks recently, didn't you?
Yeah, I tried to. I was trying to give them a little utility offer, but they weren't interested. They basically said, "We're a meme coin. We don't need utility."
Yeah. I know it. I tell you, if Crypto Bronze was here, he would agree with you 100%. And I'm the same way. I feel like utility is the future. However, there is a place for memes, I guess. I feel like what it does is it builds community. And from community, you could potentially parlay that into utility. But utility, at the end of the day, is what you need to be successful and to have that and execute on that vision. So I don't know. I feel like crypto is more than just meme, and that's just me. But I feel like you guys got a great project here, Dustin. You guys have your website, crypto4ww.com. Let me just pull up also, we got your Twitter space. Let me just pull that up here as well. Bear with me for a moment. So we got, so you guys are at 1776 America 7, was that _4?
Yeah.
Yeah. So check these folks out. Dustin, thank you for coming on tonight. Anything else you want to tell these folks?
No, just stop by Twitter, Telegram, check out the community, check out the website, do your own due diligence, and come help support.
Absolutely. Yeah, guys, check these folks out. Couldn't ask for a better project to have these folks on tonight. Definitely one of those projects that you got to take a look at, because it's more about what it is they're looking to do. They're looking to take care of our veterans out there. Dustin, thank you for joining us. And you got to come back on the air sometime. Tell us what's going on in that space and how it's progressing, because we'd love to have you back.
Yeah, definitely. Would love to be back.
All right, man. All right. Well, everyone, thanks for joining us. We certainly appreciate you all. Have a great night. Dustin, be good. Peace, everyone.
Y'all have a good